Alright, welcome to the part 2 of what we started on the previous video. We were actually, when we started this, remember we were just on these 3 learning targets here, and we only got about halfway through the notes. A lot because I was just explaining a lot more with how the notes work and everything. So we're going to finish up these 3 learning targets in this video, and then we'll be able to move on with this because I think this is I think you guys would agree that it's very elementary right now, so hopefully we can get into some a little more tricky stuff. So we were on page 7. Okay, it looks just like this. Okay, and it's a little guided, or no, I'm sorry, we're on page number, I don't even know what page it is. Okay, we're on page 4, I'm sorry. Page 4. I apologize. Okay, here. It says fill in the missing fractions and mixed numbers. Now, first of all, I want to show you what a mixed number is. Okay, a mixed number is a number, and please write this, so go ahead and circle it and then draw a little arrow. A mixed number is when you have a whole part and a fractional part. Okay, so when you got that means 4 and a half. So if I had 4 and a half pizzas, that means I got 1 pizza, 2 pizzas, 3 pizzas, 4 pizzas, and then I got just basically a fourth of a pizza where you see shaded in. Okay, so that's what that means. I'm sorry, not a fourth, a half. I apologize. So I have this pizza, entire pizza, this entire pizza, this entire pizza, this entire pizza, and then I have just half. I must have eaten this side here. Okay, so that's what a mixed number is. It's when you see a whole part and a fractional part. So it could be anything, 3 2/3, whatever. Okay, so just a little refresher there. Now, it says complete the statements or find the missing fractions. Okay, now I see a fraction there, a missing there, a missing there, and they're giving us this. So I have to determine what are they breaking this into. Some people would say, okay, well, like they're going to struggle. A lot of you will probably struggle with this skill right here. Okay, well, you got to remember that it's breaking it into 1, 2, 3 sections. If it's breaking it into 3 sections, that means your denominator is 3's. Okay, you're breaking it into denominators of 3. Okay, now let's think about it. And even this, you can think about this as having thirds too. Think about a pizza. Okay, and here I've cut my pizza into 3 slices, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I had 0 slices, I don't have any pizza. I have 0 amount of pizza. Okay, if I had 1 slice, I have 1/3 of pizza. If I have 2 slices, I have 2/3. If I have all 3 of these slices, then I have 3/3 of pizza, which is why any number over top of itself equals 1. Okay, 3/3 is 1 whole. 5/5 is 1 whole. Okay, it's important you know that. Okay. Now, down here, we're gonna put an inequality symbol in here to try to figure out which one's greater than or whatever, greater than or less than. 2/3 and 1 whole. Well, guys, a fraction can never be bigger than a whole, because what it's saying up here, going back to my pizza example, I'll draw another pizza, is it's saying here that I have 2/3 of pizza. Okay? Well, here I'm saying that I got an entire pizza. So I got this whole thing. I got this whole pizza to eat. That whole pizza is always going to be larger. So again, the monster in here, the inequality sign, is always going to be facing the bigger number, which would be, it has to be the whole number. Okay? Whoops, sorry. Okay, now, same thing here. Here, think about it in terms of pizzas. I know that I'm saying it over and over again, but I think it's a good way to remember it. Okay? If I have 2 whole pizzas, that means I have 2 entire pizzas that I'm ready to eat. Okay? Over here, I've only got 1 pizza, and then I got 1/3 of a pizza. Okay? Probably a true third, but there. I'd say that's closer to 1/3. Which one do I have more pizza? Yeah, you gotta have this. Okay, that number is always going to be larger than that one. Okay. Another way that you can say whether one's greater or one's less than is you can actually turn these into decimals or whole numbers if they can be. Okay. Now you're going to hear me say this all year 100 times. 2/3, or I should say, what you're going to hear me say is every fraction fractions and decimals are the same thing. Okay. Every fraction can become a decimal is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Here, the way to figure this out is to just do 2 divided by 3. Okay, you do numerator divided by denominator. That gives you 0.6 repeating. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're comparing 1, and we could put 1.0. I'm doing this problem right here, and I'm doing 0.6 repeating. Whenever you're comparing decimals, you always go to the left, and you say which number has a bigger number in the left. This would be a 0. You go all the way to the left. Which one is bigger there? 1, obviously. So we know that that would have to be like that. Same goes here. You can do this the same way. 1 1/3. Okay? To turn that to a decimal, you know it's going to be 1 point something. It's one whole and then a partial. Okay? So you do 1 divided by 3, and you, sorry if I'm kind of making a mess of my board here. You guys probably wrote all over this. I hope you're figuring out. You don't have to figuring out how to write. I should be better about that. But anyway, 1.3 repeating. So now I'm comparing 1.3 repeating and 2. Notice I put 2 in that same place value. Okay? And clearly, that's going to be the larger one. Okay? Okay? Here. Let's go ahead and just do a couple of these real quick here. I think we are drawing horizontal number lines. Okay, I'm going to draw a number line here. Okay. It says mixed numbers greater than 10 but less than 11. So that means I'm going to put 10 and I'm going to put 11 in here. Okay. It says use an interval of 1/4. Well, that's going to be 10 and 1/4, 10 and 2/4, 10 and 3/4, and then 11. I went up by 1/4 every time, just like we talked about a little bit ago. Now I do want you to see this. 10 and 2/4. That needs to be simplified. Okay? 10 and 2/4 needs to be simplified to 10 and 1/2. Okay? Should be, I think that's pretty review for you guys. Same thing here. We have 3 and 4. And it says it wants you to put, I didn't leave myself enough space. Okay? We have 3, we have 4, and then this is just going to be 3 and 1/10, 3 and 2/10, and so on. I won't make you write the whole thing up, but I think you get the picture. You're just going up by 1/10 every time, every interval. Okay, you're just showing that on a number line. Okay, same with decimals down here. Okay, you got 8 and 12. So if you go, it wants you to go up by 8/10, so that means 8.8. 9.6, 10.4, and if you're wondering how I'm getting those numbers, I'm just adding 0.8 because that's what it says it wants to go up by, and then 11.2, and then 12. Okay? Go to the next page. Here we go. Here's a vertical number line now. Again, zeros, notice the smaller numbers at the bottom, and it just wants you to put these on here. It wants me to put 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, and 4/5 on there. Okay? So 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, and 4/5. Again, the whole number 1 would be 5/5. That's one whole. Okay, let's skip to the next page. Okay, so now use your number line to compare fractions. Okay, now what I'm going to tell you to do on these is I'm just going to have you go ahead and convert these to numbers, to decimals. Okay, because quite frankly, if you asked a lot of people what's larger, 2/3 or 5/6, a lot of people would not know which one is bigger. Okay, so we got 2/3, we got 5/6. Now there's two ways to do this. I'm going to show you both ways, so please, please, please pay attention. And I guarantee by the end of the year you guys are going to be great at it. The first way is you can turn them to decimals. Now you already know how to turn them to decimals. I just showed you on that previous page. All fractions can become decimals by just doing 2 divided by 3. So 2 divided by 3. Okay? We know that that is 0.6 repeating. Okay? 2 divided by 3. Every fraction becomes a decimal by doing the top number, the numerator, divided by the denominator. Okay? Okay. Same thing with 5 6 now. I'm going to go ahead and divide 5 divided by 6. I'm going to get 0.8. And yes, you may use your calculator. I'm going to get 0.8, and then 3 then is repeating after that. Okay? So now what I have is I have 2 decimals here. Okay? One is saying, by the way, if you forget, that little line just means it goes on forever. It's going to be 0.666666666 forever and always, okay? It goes on forever. And over here, that means it's 0.8, and then it's a bunch of 3's after that, forever. Okay? So if we're comparing those, we do 0.6 and then 0.83. Okay? Now, notice how I lined up my decimal places of the two numbers. Okay? I lined them up. I go to the furthest left number, which here obviously would be that. That would be our furthest to the left. And I'd say, well, which number is larger in that tenths place value? And it would be 0.83. Okay? And that number would be larger because of that 0.8. Okay? If you want to think about it as money, you'll hear me use this example a ton this year when you're comparing numbers. This is like 67 cents. Okay? If some of you are asking, well, how did you get that? Well, if this is 0.666 forever, okay, it's repeating, but I'm just going to go to 3 decimal places for now. The reason why is because we know that when we have our money, when we have $5.30, okay, we always go to 2 decimal places, okay? So whenever you're talking about money, you want to round, you want to go to the thousandths place, that one, the third one, because that's going to tell you what to do. So actually, this would be between 66 and 67 cents is 0.6 repeating, okay? This 6 tells that 6 to go up to 7, okay? Whereas 0.83 repeating, 0.83 repeating forever and always, you go here, round to there, this would round and stay at 83 cents. So let me ask you guys, what is more money? 67 cents or 83 cents? 83 cents is more money. That's why 5 6 is greater. Okay? The other way you can do this is you can actually find what's called a common denominator. Okay? You could say, I can go ahead and change this. It's like taking a pizza. I'll show you this example real quick. If you took your pizza, now imagine all those are supposed to be the same size piece. They're not, but they're supposed to be. Okay? Let me draw that again to make it a little bit better. If I can figure out how. Okay? Here's my pizza. I have 2 out of 3 slices of pizza. Okay? So that means I have this one and this one or whatever. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pizza and I'm now going to cut it into 6 slices. So everything's going to get, but it's equal. So if I cut it into 6 slices, well, I don't just have 2 slices anymore. I don't have 2/6 of pizza. Okay? I have to remember that actually how many pieces do I have? I have 1, I have 2, 3, 4. I have 4/6 pizzas. Okay? How did I do that? I knew that I wanted to have the same denominator if I could. I got to have the same denominator as this one. Okay, so I went ahead and made it 6th. I multiplied my 3 by 2. And then I did the same exact thing to the top. You always got to do the same thing to the top that you did to the bottom. Okay, and that's how we know. Again, now we're looking at it. 4/6 or 5/6. What would you guys rather have? Would you rather have 4 out of 6 slices of pizza or 5 out of 6 slices of pizza? Obviously, you'd rather have 5 out of 6 slices of pizza. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to the next page. Okay, real quick on this one here. Okay? You're gonna have to do these on the worksheet tomorrow, and you're going to see that you just got to figure out what the clues are. What did it go from 0.04 to 0.05? It went up by 1/100th, 0.01. Okay, that's how much you added onto it. So then you just see what's missing. Well, that would be 0.06. This would be 0.09. Or you could write 0.09, doesn't really matter. And then this would be 0.10, or just 0.1. Okay, I'm just going up by 1/100th, and if you're not sure how I'm doing this, you could just add. You could go down here and go, well, 0 plus 0.01 is 0.01. 0.01 right there plus 0.01 is going to be 0.02. But I think you're seeing the pattern there. Okay? Okay? Here, think about money. You got to figure out which one's which one's larger, which one's smaller here. Here you have, some people go, well, I have 1 cent there, I have 5 cents there. That is incorrect. You do not have 1 cent there. Remember, money is to change, I should say, coins are to 2 decimal places. These are your pennies. That first decimal place, I'm sorry, that's completely wrong. This is your dimes, and this is your pennies. Okay? You're going to understand this throughout the year, I promise. Okay? So when you see 0.1, that's saying, oh, I got 1 dime. That's actually means I have how many cents? 10 cents. So always make it money. So what do you have more of? Which one's larger, 10 cents or 5 cents? 10 cents. Okay, over here, now you got 2 pennies. You got 7 pennies. 7 pennies is going to be larger. Okay, go ahead and go to the next page. Okay. I would like you guys to please pause right here, and I'd try these 4 questions right here. Okay? So, I have to figure out which one's larger here. Okay? You can use a number line if you'd like to. I'm just going to look at it. Here, I look and I say, okay, I have 3 whole pizzas in both of those, so I don't really learn anything there. Whoops, sorry. Okay, I have 3 whole pizzas there. I have 3 whole pizzas there. But then I have a partial pizza. Fractions are just partials. Okay, I have partials. So, which one would I have more of a partial? Here I have 9 out of 10 slices. Here I have 3 out of 10 slices. Well, clearly the 9 out of 10 slices is going to be the larger portion. Okay, number 17. I have 2.17 and 2.71. Well, let's think about money. $2.17 or $2.71. Which one allows me to have more money? $2.71. So I, again, put the mouth of the inequality towards the $2.71. Here, make it money. You can never have money to 1 place value. Okay, it always has to be to 2, to the hundreds. This is not $14.04. That's the biggest mistake that I see students make over and over, year after year. They say, oh, I got $14.04. No, $14.04 would look like this. 14.04. You have 14.4. That means you have 14 whole dollars and you have 4 dimes. 4 dimes means you have 40 cents. So you have $14.40. Here you have $13.38. Which one's more money? $14.40. Here, now this one's kind of crazy right here. You got some work to do on this one. The best way that I can tell you to do it is to turn them to decimals. You know that this one right here is going to be 8 point something because that's 8 holes, and some partial. So again, in order to figure out how to turn a fraction to a decimal, we got to divide top divided by bottom, 5 divided by 12, and see what it gives you. And in this case, it's going to give you 0.416. 417, we'll just say. Okay? Because it actually rounds up to 7. Okay? Over here, it's the same thing. This is called an improper fraction. An improper fraction is when the bigger number's on top. But again, you can turn it to a decimal doing the same process. Just do top divided by a bottom. 100 divided by 12. Okay? 100 divided by 12. 8.3 repeating. So that is actually 8.3 repeating. So let's think about it in terms of money. Again, okay, I have $8.40 Well, some people go, wait a minute, how much money do I actually have there? Remember, this is where you round to. You always round to the hundredths. So this is actually $8.42. 7 tells the 1 to go up. This one here is actually $8.33. Where do I have more money? Right there. So 8 5/12 is bigger. Okay? And that's what this down here is kind of all about. It's showing, it's what I just showed you over and over again, how to make fractions into decimals. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25, or 1/4 and 0.25. They are the same number. Okay, they are the same thing. They just are different forms. Okay, 1/4 and 0.25. Again, the way you do that is you do 1 divided by 4. Okay, that gives you, your calculator will do that for you, 0.25. Okay, 1/5, just do 1 divided by 5. It's going to give you 0.2, and so on. You can do it constantly for any fraction. Okay, these last ones here, I know I'm over 20 minutes, but I said some of them might be a little bit over 20. I'll just do them. Actually, I'm going to do these 3 over here real quick, and then I want you to do the other side. Okay, so first of all, as I said, you can't compare fractions and decimals. You either got to make this into a fraction or this into a decimal. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's much easier just to go ahead and convert to decimals. This is already a decimal. Okay, this is a fraction. You need to convert it to 1. Okay, so again, top number divided by bottom number. 1 divided by 4 gives us 0.25. This is where it gets a little harder. You guys will struggle with this at first. This over here is easy. That's 25 cents. But everybody wants to make the mistake that that's 2 cents. That is not 2 cents. That is 20 cents. You got to add on the decimal. Okay. Now, which one is bigger? 20 cents or 25 cents? 25 cents is larger. Now, if you didn't want to think about it as money, you could just stack them up by decimal place. So put the decimal, line them up, and then put 0.2, and then put 2.5. Okay, and you go to the furthermost number, and when you go to that, you see 2 2s. They are in the same place value in the tenths, and they're both 2s. Do we learn anything about that? No. That means they're equal in that place value. But then you go over here to this place value and you're like, wait a minute. There's no number up here. Yeah, there is. There's a 0 there. Okay? There's a 0 there. So now we look right here in that hundredths place. Okay? And we can see that where's the number that's bigger? It's right there. That tells you that 0.25 is bigger than 0.20. Okay? Next one, number 23, 0.89. And 4/5. Now again, you could turn this to a fraction if you wanted to. It's a lot of work. We'll learn it this year, but it is a lot more work than what you're going to do by just turning this to a decimal. So you're going to do 4 divided by 5. Okay, that's going to give you 0.8. Now we have to think about it. Is 0.8 or 0.89 bigger? Well, let's do it 2 ways. Let's line them up by the decimal. We got 0.89. We got 0.8. I go to the further most left numbers. And I highlight it. Okay, I look at it and I go, well, I didn't learn anything about the tenths. They're the equal. Now I got to go down here. I got to add a 0 in though. Okay. I go there and I look and I say, oh, well, right there it tells me the 9 is bigger than the 0 in that hundredths place. So I know 0.89 is larger than 0.8 or 0.80. Or 0.800 or 0.8000. It doesn't matter how many zeros. You can put infinite amount of zeros on the end of this, and it doesn't change the value of that. Okay? 2/5 and 0.3, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and turn this to a decimal and say that that is 0.4. And you would do that by doing, again, 2 divided by 5. Okay? That is 0.4, and then it's pretty easy to tell what's bigger, 0.4 or 0.3. 0.4 is larger. That's 40 cents. That's 30 cents. 40 cents is larger. So with that said, I'm just going to end it there. You guys don't even have to do this other side. Just come in ready to go tomorrow. See ya.